Greetings, my name is Emily. My Etsy store is Yesterday Stash. I'm new to the Etsy and YouTube community, just started. I have been junk journaling for about 5 or 6 years. I have a huge collection of inherited home goods, supplies, laces and fabrics and yarn and threads and for tatting and for knitting and for crocheting, as well as a huge number of old books and magazines that I have decided after all these years I need to cleanse. And so junk journaling has been my avenue for doing that. This particular junk journal is from a kit, a paper stack called the Dear Jane collection, and it is absolutely beautiful. You've got, this is the paper that's on the outside, and then I have some of these on the inside, and these are a huge number of tags that you can put in there. And in addition, I have also gone to the Etsy, into the Etsy stores, and I've purchased Jane Austen kits from, let's see, I've gone with Dreams, Etc. and Deli Girl, 1961, and then Amy Joy Studios. So the book is 50 some pages, so 100 and some, 106 maybe pages. It's got, let's see, 5 signatures, and it's just got a variety of tags, and I have really enjoyed these past few years learning about junk journaling. Most of what I have made thus far I've given away. I found a book, and it had a huge number of, it was a Bargello book, and all these beautiful Bargello prints, so I made some bookmarks out of those. This is some of the paper from the Dear Jane collection. This is some of the little tags that go with that collection. What I have done here is I've done some stenciling for the pages. The paper is just one-sided, so all the back side needs, you know, well, the back side gives you an opportunity, or me an opportunity, to do some stenciling and things. And this is just a little book. I also have at my disposal this huge warehouse called the Scrap Exchange. It's actually 2 warehouses, and people donate their items to the Scrap Exchange, and you can purchase items for next to nothing. There are fabric samples, there's huge bolts of fabric, there's any kind of notion you would want, little pieces of fabric for sewing or for quilting, yarns, trims for upholstery, paper products, paper, wallpaper, scrapbook paper, paints, everything that you would want, and it's all used. So I enjoy taking those products along with what I already have here at home and reusing them. This is an example of something that I picked up at the Scrap Exchange. If you look here, it's 25 cents. It says it's a multicolor petals, and it's actually seeds on the inside. I'm like, what am I going to do with these? But I think it would make great flowers. I haven't experimented with it yet, but I think it would be great for putting in journals as for flowers. Another paper which I have just put a binding on. I don't know if you all are familiar with these, but these are little inspirational sayings. This one's called Carpe Diem, and it's from a company called Compendium. And then this is from a company called Gratitude Always, and it's just gratitude statements. So I found a couple of those in a cupcake shop, or a cake shop if you can believe it, and have been putting them in my journals. These are some Jane Austen tags. Most of what this book focuses on is Jane Austen and her love for reading. So I'm trying to name the books that I've been putting up on the Etsy store, and this one I'm going to call the Book Junk Journal. And this is just some old books that have been I've turned into a little tag here. Tried to also include little clips and things of that nature, little extras to go with. This is an owl clip, and then I've included some other kinds of items to include that you can add. Since I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, I'm also a English lover, Anglophile, I think they call them. And so I've been collecting named castles from England, and I have put them on cardstock and have given some information about them. And it's just one day. I've been there, but that doesn't mean I haven't seen everything I want to see. I would love to go through at least 10 or 15 of these old castles. This is paper napkin, collaged on, or Mod Podged napkin. This was an interesting experience that I had, is where I took beeswax, and I took an iron, the little tulip iron, and you iron on it. And I made tons of tags with Jane Austen's books. This one, and you can actually still write notes. I have some fabric here that I have glued together with this paper, which is not a part of the Dear Jane collection. These papers are a part of the Dear Jane collection, just a little collage of teas. This is where I took some of Tim Holtz's paper and cut them out into little shapes and put them on the back of made a tag out of it. This is a little envelope that has another little corresponding card that you can use for anything you like. These are all tea-dyed papers, the thicker paper. I wanted you to see the beautiful book, the book pages that are in this Dear Jane collection. Just beautiful. And again, on the back, I did some stenciling or painting, or just different things. This is from Zazzle. These are postcards from Zazzle. This is C.E. Brock's illustrations from all of Jane Austen's, or from many of Jane Austen's books. Just a little tag here. This is a picture of Jane Austen, and where I took paper and laced it up, and then added one of her quotes. Here's the other side of that book page. Just so pretty, so Jane Austen. This I found out about from a YouTube channel. I'm a Cool Mom, and it's where you take paper that's two-sided and fold it over, and then you add a bow and make a little collar. It's just adorable. It reminds me of Jane Austen. This is a tag of some of the things that I've collected over the years from London and from my trips there. More of the paper. This paper here is absolutely beautiful. I've put different combinations with it, borders and laces, and made that into a tag. This right here is another one of those napkins. I actually bought these napkins at a bookstore in London. William Wordsworth isn't from England, and he was the poet. He actually his house is still there, and this is actually a garden that he created for her daughter. It's called Dora's Field. There's information on the back about that. Beautiful artwork here from Renoir. That's an old postcard that I found along the way. And anytime I go anywhere, I collect postcards or different items of interest, and I'm always on the look. This is really interesting. This has got one of her quotes. It's called "The Journey," put together. Also try to collect artwork and put it in books when I can. I always put who it's by. This is, I think, a Van Gogh, and it tells where it is and information about it. Here's another one of those pages, just so pretty, which I've added crochet and lace and music, and I've put a little booklet in here. It says, I shall be miserable if I don't have, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library, by Jane Austen. We went to Hampton Court Palace, and this is a tag from there. More London, more of the paper and more of the tags, and more of her quotes. This is an interesting something I found by accident at the scrap exchange. What it is a little leaflet. It's got a little charm in it, and it tells about it. It's called Little Charms, or Little Charms. We have tons of libraries in this area because I live in the Triangle of North Carolina, and there are huge universities in the area. And this is more of that paper and how you can combine it with different colors and make. But we have I have lots of library tags that came from that they donate to Scrap Exchange. More C.E. Brock's pictures of Jane. These are certificate pages that I've tea stained and turned into journaling pages. Some little tags, more tags, and more paper from that. Here's another piece of that paper, and I have put little flowers on it to give it a little character. This is an interesting old paper that I found a stack of it at the scrap exchange. It says Peterson's Magazine, 1862, and so it's the original copy of tons of different pictures. So I've taken a couple of them and combined them together because the pages are so thin. I've combined them together, and they make excellent little, you can make tags out of them, or just, use it as you desire. More of the paper from the Jane Austen, from the Dear Jane book. This is a game that I picked up in a bookstore in London. It's called Matchmaker, and it actually has, there's lots of different rules, but it actually has cards to match the couples, and this is from Pride and Prejudice. It's actually Elizabeth Bennet's sister. This is more of those little inspiration thing that I stuck in here. This is an interesting also find. This is a picture. This is an article from it's a really old book, and I've used a lot of them for tags. But this book here fell apart in 1825, and so what I have done is taken some of them and turned them into articles to read. Reminds me of Jane because everything was so, in her day, it was all about the manners and being proper. And this is what Letters to a Young Lady. He wrote articles to her. Her name was Lucy, and it says, My Dear Lucy. So I've laminated these, and I've put where the book came from. And this is a music book from 1902 that I've included a couple of pages in. And an extra tag here that I've put some Inca Gold on. One more of those little collars from that I saw from I'm a Cool Mom. This is just a little booklet that can be used. And towards the end of every book, or at the end, if I have room, I like to add extras. So I will be including extras in the book. Probably won't put them in the book because the book is so thick already. But if you take everything out of the book, it is actually, a book. So this will be in my Etsy store. Yesterday's stash. It's called the Book Journal. And I thank you for watching.